Hello and welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back.
And today we've been sorting out Ruby ready for the next adventure.
Yeah, so it's been exciting actually. It's all come so quick and we've been basically getting Ruby ready because we've had Ruby now over a year and not much has changed, however the accumulation of stuff. So we've had to go through the stuff, exactly what we use, instead of just carrying it along with us and just pack up for Europe.
And we're heading out to Spain on a ferry this time, so please stay tuned for the next vlog because you'll see our adventures on a ferry.
Yes,
which is going to be a two nights, so we're getting there in the evening and we've got 2 nights in a cabin, so we'll show you how we get on there. But in this vlog we're going to show you what we've got packed, how Ruby looks ready to go and how much she weighs with that stuff packed. So.
Yeah, because obviously packing the motorhome weight is concerned. Now it is a 4.5 ton motorhome and we have got over 1,000 kilos in payload, but it is good to get that checked and weighed and get both axles, if I can, weighed as well at the Weighbridge, especially with the weight getting on the ferry. I'm unsure because obviously if you watch past vlogs then we know this, you know, bottom is low of the motorhome and I don't want to bottom out at all, so yeah, just trying to keep the weight down as best we can and see what it weighs at. So yeah, so
I'm going to show you inside and Lee's going to show you the outside and the boot.
Yes.
Nothing really different in the back, we just might have some more clothes. Lee says if it can fit in these 2 cupboards I can take it. Haven't got as much as I had last time because I learned that I'd definitely taken too much. I didn't wear half the clothes and I found that I was re-washing things and other things weren't getting warm. Plus we've been at a show so we needed some warm weather clothing and cold weather clothing. Well, hopefully it's going to be quite warm out there, so bikinis, tops, shorts, jeans, leggings and pyjamas all in there, so that's all good. Lee's not got very much in his, so there's no point me showing you that. And in here is where I'm going to be putting my toiletries and my jewellery and stuff like that, but I haven't packed it yet because I'm still using some of it. Here, as you would have known if you've seen me packing for a trip before, I've got these little bottles that I just put different stuff in. In the top cupboard here we carry our air fryer. Just put a bit of a tea towel there so it doesn't knock against the side because we've got the handle that side so it doesn't hit the TV aerial. So that just helps us to transport the air fryer. We haven't got much in the fridge at the moment because we're not taking much over with us. We're on a ferry for 2 nights, so we won't be having the fridge on. We did buy a new bowl the other day. Lee went onto the Swift site and bought this actual Swift bowl because we didn't have one when we bought Ruby, but we had a bowl in here but it didn't work very well because this didn't fit on the top, so we had to keep this stored in the cupboard underneath. So this is really good because that means that can stay on there, which is great. In the oven we have got just like your baking trays covered with towels, another grill pan covered with towels to stop the rattling. We've got our plates in there. They're sort of plasticky plates which are really good for us. Oh yeah, and that's our Wi-Fi box up there. We have got the microwave. We do use that as dual purpose microwave and bread bin like many people do. Up there we've got our cups, another Ridge Monkey and some other little bits, and in this one it's a bit of a mishmash in there at the moment because we've got different glasses and cups and a kettle and some kitchen rolls, so that's fine. And in the bottom cupboard we have our large Ridge Monkey, I think that's an XXL one, and a saucepan and these little tapas dishes which are great. And then in here just our cleaning cupboard where we just take an extra pan for the oven, sort of deep baking tray for the oven, our dry mat when we're washing up, these lovely mats which are heat proof that I love to put everywhere, and then we have, this is a little drawer for some utensils. Obviously we've got our drawer here as well, with knives and forks in. And under here is some cleaning stuff, so we've sorted that out. We aren't taking masses with us like we did last time. We know what we need now, so that's great, and we can always buy it when we're out there. In this cupboard we've just got space here for like laptops, things like that, games in there. I've got a wireless speaker at the back. My handbag's just in there to stabilise this. These are like little electrical bits and stuff that for my side. We have some extra bits in here just to top up if need be, toiletries and things like that, washing tablets or whatever they are, and a medicine basket basically. So we've got like essentials in there. On this side we've still got some little bits of food. We're going to get some more dried bits of food and things, and some more tins like soups and stuff like that. I've only got beans and peas in there at the moment. They seem to be in there for a long time. And then we've got some pastas and stuff up there, coffees and teas. This just needs filling up, but we're going to go shopping on the Saturday before we go, so that will be full up. And in here again, just some electrical bits. We've got a couple of fans because we've just bought 2 more as well that will go in here because it's going to be warm, hopefully. More electrical bits, IT bits in there. Well, that's about it for my side, the bedroom and the dining area. So you've seen what's in there. I'll let Lee show you a bit more.
You've got a good idea now of what we're carrying on that side of things. So we've got the Starlink, and I did used to have it in the boot. I'll show you the boot in a minute. But now the Starlink sits basically underneath there, with the router up in the cupboard. We do take the Starlink out with us because we do a lot of uploading. Also with that we have got the Wi-Fi that you've seen on past videos. Now the Wi-Fi is really good on EE, however there is the fair usage policy, so it goes really slow for an upload for us, so we've got the Starlink as a backup. Yeah, so within the front of the cab then, we've got the power bank. We always keep that there just in case Jodie needs a computer running or anything like that. And we are taking the power bank because if we do any off-gridding, then it's always good to have. But that's pretty much the front of the cab. Also within the van we carry obviously the documentation and documentation to drive in Europe. So we have the V5 original, and we have a couple of spare copies of the V5.
We had to change that, didn't we?
We did have to change that, yeah. So obviously the V5 had to be changed because the number plate got changed. So we've got new copies and the original of that. Plus I have got the original documentation of the number plate that we bought to change it to this one, just in case. Along with that we have copies of our insurance. I always keep a couple of copies just in case you have to give one to the authorities or something, and then you've still got one with you.
Did you have to get a new Cert Air sticker then?
Yes, so we had to get a new Cert Air, although we're not going to need it on this trip because we are literally bypassing France, but it is there with the new number plate details for future. We have also got the ferry I suppose printout that you get for your tickets. You obviously don't get actual tickets, it's the email. So I've got that, and I've got 2 copies of that as well for when we're boarding. And plus going into Europe they like to know you've got a return journey booked, so that's the documentation to prove that we have got a ferry booked home. Also we have insurance, our health insurance. So when we're out there we've got European health insurance. Also along with that we've got the breakdown cover for this vehicle in case we break down or anything and we need to be looked after out on the European roads.
And we are still using Nationwide, aren't we?
We are still using Nationwide. And the last thing really is the passports. So passports, and if you do have an accident out there, it's always advisable to have the European accident statement. You can download it online, and it basically just gives you the relevant information, what happens, and you can swap details and stuff if you have an accident out there. Yeah, and that's about it for the documentation, and some of the stuff's a bit extra, so most of the stuff there you will need if you're travelling in Europe. My domain really, the boot. Now I've not really been, I suppose, that bothered about how things sit as long as I had easy access to things in the boot in the past. but because we're carrying the bikes now, which is a new addition, I've had to sort out the boot just to make sure that things I can get access to when I need it on a regular basis, and some of the other things are tucked away that little bit more if we're just on the site and I've got time to empty it. So going into the boot then, basically the chocks. So as we ain't got levelers, that's the first thing pretty much coming out when we get to any pitch or a site. So I've got them in easy access, plus I've left enough space at the top there so I can get, you know, a couple of crates of beer or your bit of shopping, a couple of crates of water, and stick them in this side, and it's the habitation door side, so it's easy access for me. At the back here, that's where we got the 400 watt solar panel. Again, if we do any off-gridding, it's there. 2 reclinable chairs, 1 table. I have got the Kadak sitting in there, collapsible bucket and jerry can in case we have to fill up in that way. Box of tools, so we've got things like Sikaflex, a bit of CT1, some pump, towing equipment, a few oil sprays, lubricants, stuff like that, and a few tools, carpets, silver screen. So that's pretty much stuff that I would need to get easy access to on that side. So we go to the other side then. So on this side, this is now where the bikes sit. So I bought these bags actually just off Amazon. They just fit foldable bikes. This one's a little bit big, so it just pops out the top. However, it stops the rubbing, it stops the damage. Now they are secured in. I've got cleats at the bottom of the motorhome, and I have secured them. Jodie likes to do a bit of exercise, so we've got a mat in there, and that's where her bike seat sits. My bike seat sits within the bag, it actually fits. Helmets, locks, stuff like that. Also, I have got the European breakdown kit within there, so that's all up there. Your triangle, your high-vis vests, your spare bulbs, your bits and bobs that you need, again, when you're travelling to Europe. Past videos will explain that, and I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there that explain what you need on the road. Yeah, so that's about it. So it's easy now to literally got handles, grab these bikes, get them out and put them back. The worst thing is when you carrying stuff that is, you know, in the ideal world is great to carry and you really want to use, but if you hide them in the boot or anything like that, then you don't tend to use them. So now I've put it in such a way that we get the bikes out anytime we want to get the bikes out. Chocks are there, easy to get on the chocks. So yeah, it's all good. Plus we've taken out a few items that we're not really going to need on this trip. That's about it for the boot.
So what's happening with the fresh water now? Because obviously last time we went out, we had a bit of a motorhome disaster with it when it got ripped off. Yeah,
so the fresh water is still sitting in the same place. So the place it's sitting is just behind the exhaust, and the freshwater outlet sits here. Now it's still on, believe it or not, with CT1. However, the I suppose the wood underneath or something, it's stuck to there, so it's not the best. However, it's probably more secure than it was when it came out of factory. There was talks about getting a plate to spread the load and fix it to that. However, we're going to run a pipe down on the chassis, and then where the grey waste outlet is going to sit next to there, because it's going to be the other side of that, closer to the rear wheel. Where it sits here, any, I suppose, bump, you know, you run the risk of breaking it off, so you just have to be a bit careful.
So when you're looking at getting that done?
On our return now, because we just ain't got time to get it done. Yeah. So we will get things like that done over the winter months, you know, and look at maybe a couple of upgrades. What yet, I don't know, but you know, just some sorting out, tidying up of stuff after we've used it now for a year. You know, you start to work out what the tweaks are needed. Obviously we've got the LPG as well. We carry LPG, okay, so the refillable bottles, we find it cheaper. Now I know there's a debate always going on, there's pumps shutting down, this, that and the other. We've never had trouble filling up. Now they might become a bit more few and far between, but there is places out there, and sometimes you just got to look at other places, i.e. taxi services, rental services, places like that, that possibly could have LPG.
And there is an app, isn't there, as well?
There is an app,
yeah.
yeah. Not always correct on the app though. So yeah, so we've got gas it in there. At the moment, I've got the 11 kilo bottle on and the 6 kilo bottle off. That just gives me a chance that if the 11 kilo runs out, I know I've got 6 kilos left before I need a refill. So as simple as that really. But over the summer months, it's surprising how little gas you use. Because this is Aldi heating, over the winter months you'll probably find that the gas you can drain that in a few days. If you see the last vlog, then you would know that the habitation door was done, but we still haven't got the decals. They reckon now within the first week of September they should be coming in. That is no good to us because we ain't going to be here, so it's probably going to have them fitted on our return now. Again, it's just a shame that they didn't get ordered at the same time. So
we're just lucky that it's not as noticeable because of there's not so much white on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's cosmetic, but hey, we all like to have our motorhomes looking good.
But it could have been somebody who's had a door that's got more white on it than that, and it was more obvious.
Yeah.
You know, I just think that you would normally order them with, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. But other than that, Ruby's looking good. What you're going to see now is we're going to get this weighed. It's been over a year now since we last had it weighed. Just one thing, I will be taking the certificates you get after getting it weighed out with me in my documentation. It's always good that if you do get pulled over, just to show that and say, you know, on a certain date then you was okay. Yes, things could change and you might be carrying more, but it's always good to have that there because it might have only been a couple of days since you're weighing. Now we're going to have full gas. We're going to have, so that's 11 kilo bottle and a 6 kilo bottle. We're going to have 100 litres of water, so that's 100 kilos. And we're going to have a full tank of fuel, full tank of AdBlue, plus Jodie's going to be within the vehicle, okay, it only accounts really for around about 70 kilos, I think, for this on the driver's weight. So it's pretty much going to be full. I would say there's a couple of clothes maybe still to be added and a bit of shopping. So if I get the weight and I know if I calculate them as around 50 kilos, anything over that is spare payload for us, or she's going to be overweight. I don't think she's going to be overweight, however you never really know, but she may be underweight, but they may have one of the axles that are overweight and I might have to shift things around. So we have to see, because, you know, bear in mind it's not all about the total weight of the vehicle. Okay, so having this at 4.5 tons, if the axle weight is too heavy on one of the axles, so we've got to make sure that's right as well. People tend to overload the boot and then your rear axle weight's going to be overloaded. So yeah, next let's get down to the Weighbridge.
He's just getting some fuel, so we've got a full tank before we go and weigh Ruby.
Well, that's us full up with fuel. Next stop, Weighbridge. No, it's okay. The good thing, I got a passing point here. It's only a little straight until you get to the Weighbridge. It's the first time we've been to this Weighbridge, so it's all new.
So Lee's just gone inside the little office. Looks like that's the Weighbridge there that vehicle's on. So we're just waiting to find out what the score is.
Right, we're going to do the front axle first. And yeah, then we turn around, do the rear axle and then do the total weight.
Just turning around so we can get the rear axle on there. Ooh, what's that? Bloody hell. A bit closer than I would be. Now we're just going fully on.
Yeah.
A bit further back, is that right?
I'll go and pay, sort it out, tell you the cost and see what the results are.
So while he's paying, I just thought I'd jump out and show you Ruby on the Weighbridge. It's quite a long one. So I've never used one before, so I wouldn't know it in comparison to any others. Yeah. let's go and find out what this weight is. I'm just waiting for him. He's in the office. Hopefully we are good to go. I'll be going without me because he'll chuck me out first before any of his precious belongings. Be me and my clothes that get kicked out. He'll be going on his own.
As I thought, we are well under on the total weight. So total weight there is 3.94. So we're under 4 tonne. So we've got about 500 kilos. Well, nearly 600 kilos to play with. 1.84 tonne on the front and 2.09 tonne on the rear, but we'll work out what that means when we get back to the yard.
Back to the yard. Anyway, it looks like I'm staying now and I'm still going on holiday.
You're lucky.
Yeah. So it would have been me and my clothes. Well, we're back at the storage.
Back at the storage, yes.
So
It's warm today, isn't it?
Yeah, so let's check these plates out and see where we
let's
are.
find these plates, check them out, and see how we're sitting. Here we are. So on the inside the door of the cab, all of them, I believe, you'll have all your weights. So we've got the weight here of 4.5 tonne. So we're sitting at 3.94. So actually 560 kilos under weight. Now 1 and 2. So 1 being the front, we've got 2,100 and we're sitting at 1,840, so 1.84 tonne, so we're well under on that weight. And the rear is sitting at 2,500 kilos. We're actually sitting at 2.09 tonne. So we've got 400 kilos we can stick in the boot still.
Hey, we can put some beer. We can put some beer in there.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's 350 kilos of beer and maybe a little bit of water. Who knows?
Beer and water.
But that's good news. So that'll go in the document folder now. It did cost £9 to use that Weighbridge. They average around £7.50 to £10 to use them to get a printout. But I think it's well worth doing. And don't just go there just weighing the vehicle. Make sure you can do the front and rear. If you're unsure how to do that, then literally drive in, nose on, keep the nose on the weighing plates, get that weighed, and then turn around, do the same with the rear, and then the total weight. Me and Jodie were in the vehicle as well. The water tank's full, and I know it's 100 tank of water, so that's 100 kilos. The fuel tank's full. Not really sure how much goes in there, but it's going to be 100 litres or so. So that's another 100 tonne. Gas, that's full. AdBlue's full, and we're pretty much loaded to go, ready to go. So I think it's just around
100 kilograms, you mean, darling?
100 kilograms.
Not 100 tonne.
100 tonne. Ooh, that'd be a big vehicle, but no, 100 kilograms. So yeah, we're ready to go now, and it's a couple of clothes to load, a little bit of shopping, but we've got plenty of room to play.
Yeah.
So, all good.
So that's us now. This you'll see this on Thursday, and we'll be going out on the Sunday.
Yes.
The next vlog you'll see will be our trip on the ferry across to Spain from Portsmouth to Bilbao. No. Bilbao. That's it. Bilbao. That's it.
That's the one.
I can never pronounce these names, so just bear with me throughout this trip. I will get everything wrong and maybe eventually get it right.
It's all part of the fun though, all part of the fun. But yeah, so we're pretty much, the next vlog is going to be us on a cruise. It is a cruise, right? Or is it ferry crossing?
It's a 2-night, because we get there late at night, so we're going to be travelling about 9 o'clock at night from the port, so we've got a cabin, and then the next day we've got the full day there.
Full day sailing.
I've heard there can be a bit of party boats, if some people, if they like
happy
a drink.
days. Well, it's 2 nights there.
And then we've got the next night, and then 8 o'clock in the morning on the 27th, we will be arriving
in Spain. Yeah.
So keep with us and come and follow our journeys.
Yeah, catch you in Spain. So we'd like to say thank you to everyone that's been supporting the channel and everyone that's subscribed, and we will catch you when we're in Spain. Until then, bye.
See ya.
And everyone that's yeah. You have to put your face back to where it was.
Come on. Again, sorry, you told me to put my face back to where it was.
So we'd like to say thank you to everyone that's been supporting the channel and everyone that's fucking hell.
Put these outtakes at the end.
Jesus.